ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, tinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo. Juan, saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
This segment is brought to you by World Remit, a better way to send money.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Magandang hapon UK, magandang hapon Europa, magandang gabi Pilipinas, at kung saan man po kayo naroroon, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito po ang Public Service Program 1U Konek. Kwentong Pinoy, kwentong migrante, kwentong 1U Konek. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
And I'm Crystal Dias. Hello, everyone.
Yes, this afternoon we will dedicate the entire show to honor the people behind one of the most loved institutions in the UK, and of course, the institution itself, the National Health Service, because it just celebrated its 73rd birthday. At alam mo ba, Crystal, na ang National Health Service ay pinarangalan o binigyan ng award o recognition na napakataas na pagkilala mula mismo sa Reyna Queen Elizabeth II. Ito ang tinatawag natin na George Cross Award to the NHS. It is the highest award for gallantry and heroism to mark its over 70 years of public service. So congratulations, NHS, and congratulations to the people behind the National Health Service. May I ask you, Crystal, bakit nga ba napaka-importante o napaka-special ng National Health Service?
It's very important, you know. It's 10 years in the making before it was launched in 1948. And it has its three core principles: that it meet the needs of everyone, that it will be free at the point of delivery, and that it will be based on clinical need, not ability to pay. What that means, Rose, it's available to everyone in the UK. So So that's why it's very special. It's available to all, regardless of wealth.
Wow. Because it's the birthday of NHS, ang yung actual birthday ng NHS was on Monday, alam nyo naman po, pag Pinoy, hindi kumpleto ang selebrasyon kapag walang kantahan. Kaya mamaya, abangan ng mga fans ni Gaea Mischa dahil kakanta po siya. Isang special song ang iaalay niya para sa National Health Service. At ngayong hapon din, napaka-espesyal dahil mga bigatin at saka yung nagwawagayway ng watawat o bandila ng Pilipinas sa National Health Service at sa Filipino community and in the wider community in the UK ang makakasama natin ngayon. Makakasama po natin ang poster girl ng COVID-19 vaccination na si May Parsons at ang dalawang magagaling na leader ng pioneering groups ng Nurses Association in the UK, si Jose Ariel Lanada, and of course, ang Philippine Nurses Association UK na si Dennis Singson. At this point, tawagin po natin si Miss May Parsons. Welcome back on the show. Miss May Parsons, na-miss ka namin. Hi, May! I think you have to unmute yourself. Hi!
Yeah, sorry about that. Hi, it's nice to be back.
Nice.
Hi, May. Good to see you again.
Yes, good to be back on the show. I hope yan ang pakiramdam mo. But tell us muna, May, merong napaka-special event on Sunday. That's the Thanksgiving Mass. At ikaw ay nandun. You represented your profession at bigatin ang mga nasa event na yon. Nandun lang naman si Prime Minister Boris Johnson and of course, the Duke of Cambridge na si Prince William. What was the event all about and what did you do?
So the event was about Thanksgiving Mass for the 73rd birthday of the NHS. So it was to thank everyone who's been in service through to the NHS for the last nearly seven decades. But also commemorating those people that we've lost along the way. So it's almost a thank you mass because of the pandemic that we're going through, and also obviously for those people that are still here fighting, digging deeper, for those we care for in the NHS. And I think it's a really timely Thanksgiving mass, not just for me as a person, but for the profession as people who work in the NHS, trying to make it work for everyone and trying to serve everyone that that needs it.
May, when you first came to this country, did you ever envision that at some point in your life you will be attending an event like this?
No, absolutely not. I think, if anything, that was really surreal. It's together with the vaccination and how big it went, not just in the UK, but across the globe. It was something that's, you don't really expect it to happen. So, I think to be invited and be part of that mass and to speak as well during the celebration is indeed an honor and a privilege for me, especially knowing that I'm from the Philippines, and it's a really big privilege. And I think, I don't know if I've said it enough, I'm really grateful for to be invited to that. Like you said, to be invited amongst so many important leaders and people in the community attending and paying their thanks to the people that has given so much during the last 18 months.
And personally, what does that event mean to you?
Personally, it means to me that, we are actually trying to putting it right. So it's almost like thanking those people that has sacrificed so much in the last 18 months. When we go to work, we don't expect to die. We don't expect to be, taken ill. But I think it's the sacrifices that we put through for not just for ourselves, but also for our families, and isn't it? So if we go to work, you don't expect to catch any virus that can possibly kill you. So I think it's a really nice, grateful mass to commemorate the sacrifices and the hard work of all those people that's been dealing with the pandemic.
Great. Maraming salamat. So at this point, makakasama naman po natin, as I said nga, yung leaders ng ating mga pioneering groups, ng nursing groups dito sa UK. May we call in the interim deputy chair of Philippine Nurses Association UK, Mr. Dennis Singson. Hi, Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Hi, magandang hapon Rose, Crystal and May, and magandang gabi din po sa mga nanonood sa Pilipinas.
Good to meet you, Dennis.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay. And Crystal?
Okay, so meron po tayo, the other pioneer from the Filipino Nurses Association, the UK President, Ariel Lanada. So he's awarded the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Nurse of the Year 2021, and he's from Oxford University Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust. Hi, Ariel. Good to see you again.
Hello. Thank you, Attorney Diaz. Good afternoon, Rose, Dennis, and May. And thank you very much for having me in the show. Delighted to be here.
I don't know kung coincidence lang ito, Crystal, pero alam mo ba, those two nurses na senior level nurses na kasama natin ngayon, those leading the two organizations, Philippine Nurses Association UK and Filipino Nurses Association UK, pareho silang award-winning nurses. Si Dennis, he was the NHS Windrush 70 awardee for clinical excellence in nursing in 2018. Tapos naman, si Ariel, BAME Nurse of the Year 2021. Ang galing, ano?
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you
Yes.
both. My question is, May shared with us earlier na may merong special event that she was part of on Sunday and also in her trust. In your particular workplace, anong klase ng selebrasyon ang ginawa ninyo bilang pagbibigay pugay sa institusyon, sa National Health Service o NHS? Let's start with Dennis.
With me, I'm working since the start of the pandemic. I've left the trust where I used to work at. So at the moment po, I'm working in a general practice. I work in primary care. So maliit lang yung team. So we didn't really have a massive celebration, although we just shared. We had afternoon tea together with all the doctors, nurses, and admin staff that I work with.
Okay. And Ariel?
At Oxford University Hospitals and its Foundation Trust, there's a lot of cakes, a lot of parties. So we have 4 hospital sites and we have more or less 14,000 staff. So this year is very special because the ward managers, the matrons really took the efforts to write the names of our individual staff on our thank you card, which did not happen in the past. So I think that's very touching and moving. And the trust also recognized the contribution of our volunteers, the contribution of BAME staff, and of course, there's a lot of recognition in terms of the contribution of everyone in the trust.
Great. So bago po magpatuloy ang ating discussion, please allow us to show to you, lalo na sa mga viewers po natin, para mas meron tayong malalim na discussion of the National Health Service, itong clip na ito about the 70th celebration of the National Health Service, and it was shown on the Filipino channel 3 years ago for the 70th celebration nga, ano. Panoorin po natin ito and then we will pick up our discussion after this. So go ahead, Chad.
70th birthday ng National Health Service o NHS, isa sa most loved institutions sa UK. Sa pag-usad ng NHS, anong ang kontribusyon ng mga Pinoy at saan dinala ang kanilang professional career? Samahan po ninyo ako sa kwentong ito.
Dekada 70 nang magtrabaho sa NHS si Dr. Silva. Isa siya sa unang Pinoy doctor na nagtrabaho dito. Sa Singleton Hospital, Swansea, Wales siya unang nagdoktor nang pumasa sa mga requirements ng GMC o General Medical Council sa UK.
The requirement is just the same, sort of you go abroad and because the Philippines, our College of Medicine is already registered abroad, accepted that you are a doctor. Unlike the other countries. While in Swansea, after my second job, I was luckily accepted at the Royal National Orthopedic Hospital, which is, the most famous orthopedic hospital in the world.
Nagtapos siya ng medisina sa University of the East, RMC, noong 1969 at 21 taon siyang GP o General Practitioner sa Epsom dito sa England bilang GP ng National Health Service. Sa kanya unang dumadaan ang mga may karamdaman bago i-endorso sa ospital kung kailangan. 10 taon ng retirado si Dr. Silva at di pa rin niya makalimutan ang panahong nilaan niya sa NHS.
Of course, my life, the profession I want to be and looking after patients, it's very satisfying job. Walang Filipino doctor, so I'm receiving a consultation from everywhere, Alam mo naman, minsan mga Pilipino, hindi nila ma-understand accent o paano, yun, kung kahit nga hindi ko na pasyente, of course, ina-advise lang naman
Okay.
So, kung minsan nga, pumupunta pa sa Epsom para...
Humingi na advice sa'yo. Talaga?
Lalo yung mga taga-London. Through word of mouth, sa amin kami jeeping Pilipino sa Epsom. Mabait naman yun. Ini-entertain ko sila kahit hindi ko pasyente.
Okay, talaga po? Parang extra community service nyo yan.
Pilipino
Para kay Dr. Silva, bagay sa kanya ang sistema ng NHS. Sa ilalim kasi ng NHS, libre ang pagpapagamot ng mga mamamayan. Kaya raw di siya nakatutok sa pagpapadami ng pera, kundi sa pagpapagaling ng mga may sakit.
Mga focus mo just to help the patient's illness. Whatever prescription you do, mabibili.
Kayang bilhin.
Hindi mo binibili, kayang i-provide sa pasyente. Sa atin. At saka, yun nga, sinasabi ko siya, bibili ng 3 tablet. Tapos kailangan naman yung another day, dapat siya, di ba?
Regularity.
I-maintain mo.
July 5, 1948, isang mapangahas na proyekto ang sinimula ni Health Secretary Ariel Bevan ng post-war labor government para sa free health care for all. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng gastos ng NHS ay sagot ng buwis ng taong bayan at ang walang kakayahang magpagamot ay di magkakaproblema sa pambayad sa GP o sa ospital dahil lahat ng aspeto ng paggamot ay libre.
Kasabay ng pag-imbulog ng NHS, dumaan din ito sa ilang pagsubok. Bago pumasok ang millennium, nagkulang ang nurses sa UK, kaya bumaling sa overseas recruitment. Isa si Mariza sa na-recruit noon. 17 taon na siya sa NHS. May 27 nurse sa kanyang team at 6 dito ay Pinoy.
There were times that they're short of staff. So that's the time they re-recruited lots of Filipinos. So even now they're back to recruiting again.
Kasama rin si Edwin de la Cruz sa na-recruit noong late 90s.
When I came into the UK, I was the Dean of Nursing in the Philippines. And then I started really as a healthcare assistant. We used to be called A-grade healthcare assistant during that time. So you can imagine the transition from a high position going down to a healthcare assistant and then working up to become staff nurse.
Ngayon, siya ay Head of Nursing Practice Development and Education sa Chelsea and Westminster Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. May 400 Filipino nurse sa NHS Trust na ito.
We came in, there's so many wards needing nurses, shortage of nurses in the different clinical areas. Pero tingnan mo ngayon, we're all everywhere. Emergency department, theaters, surgical medical wards, and in fact, even in the faculty itself with the academe. And you can see everywhere, we got practice development nurses. We have now researchers as well. And in fact, we've got so many, even scientists as well.
May 1.2 million staff ang nagtatrabaho sa NHS. Isa sa 5 empleyado ay ethnic minority. Pangatlo ang Pinoy nurse sa may pinakamaraming bilang ng empleyado ng NHS. Umaabot sa 16,807. Okay, that's it. Ngayon, gusto ko lang i-correct kasi kanina ang nabanggit ko kay Mr. Dennis Singson, na-interchange ko sila. Dennis is from Philippine Nurses Association UK at si Ariel Lanada naman po ay sa Filipino Nurses Association UK. Magkatunog kasing masyado kaya pasensya na po kayo. Salamat po sa...
I
Salamat
didn't
po
even notice, Rose.
Oo. Salamat po dun sa nag-correct sa akin live. Thank you so much. Now, Crystal, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, you know, in this time of the pandemic, di ba, ang talagang unaffected sa country natin ang NHS. So, this is question is for Dennis, of course, and Ariel. So, what has NHS become because of the pandemic?
What, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first, Crystal?
Yeah, go ahead, po. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the past 18 years, di ba? Just thinking about it now, I mean, equally parang it's been happening for so long na actually it's only just been 18 months. But just thinking about it, yung the scale and the degree of how the NHS adapted in the past way had been really unprecedented. Because we've used that word so many times in the last 18 months as well. Because of the pandemic, the role of the NHS has become even more significant, and it highlights the need to acknowledge the important role of each and every person working in the NHS, diba? From it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what your job title is or banding is, from the top executives to the cleaners, the porters, and the administrative staff. We have all been providing indispensable job day in and day out. Diba, the world economy plummeted and halted in the last 18 months, pero yung NHS, ang healthcare provision natin dito had been, we're still doing it 24/7. And I know some essential services were affected, pero we triage and prioritize as best as we could. I remember when we had a World Cafe Convention, October last year, we had the advisory board member from Philippine Nurses Association in America, si Peter Calixto, and he said, yung meron na tayong sariling brand as Filipino healthcare workers, as nurses, no? Once people in general meet and are cared for by Filipino nurses, ayun na yung pasok na agad yung compassionate care, exceptional care, the kind of things that we do for people had been really well known all over the world. But also equally, in as much as we all have a reputation to uphold, we also have a personal responsibility to look after ourselves as well, diba? As best and as safely as we can. So those are the things that had been highlighted in the last 18 months for me, I think.
Okay, great. And Ariel?
Thank you. I completely agree with Dennis. COVID-19 magnified the importance of the National Health Service and the heroism of our healthcare workers. I just wanted to say that there are more or less 35,000 Filipino health workers now in the United Kingdom. We are part of those unsung heroes that keeps the National Health Service alive and responsive to the needs of our communities and our people. So I think the pandemic also made the public realize that we need them. And we are overwhelmed by the appreciation and the support of the public. As you can see on the screen, now this is one of the many distributions that we did in Oxford. So initially, I called for donations for to distribute free lunches to our NHS workers. And we thought we will only do this in a week. But actually, we were overwhelmed by the generosity of the British public. We did it for 10 weeks. And we distributed a total of 1,200 hot meals. and the Oxford City and County Council supported us for this. So that's a testament of how the public appreciate people working in the National Health Service. From within the health service, in our trust in particular, I think the pandemic has improved our collaborative and team working together. It certainly improved communications. I remember after the death of two of our colleagues, Filipino colleagues in our trust, I was called by the chief executive or the senior management of the trust, asking me to start the PP level 1, level 2 training to our domestics and portering services on top of what we're doing with the nurses and the doctors. I can feel the care, the compassion of the trust, the senior management team, to protect our staff. So I think for me, the pandemic has brought us closer together. We are more decisive, we are more adaptive in the way we run the National Health Service.
Great. So Ariel, you mentioned about the number of Filipinos in the NHS, and you mentioned 35,000, because in my report 3 years ago, I was quoting a study, or this was in the library of the Houses of Parliament, and I quoted 16,000. So it's a big jump, in the 3 years na from 16 naging 35,000 na yung Filipino sa NHS.
That is correct. So I've just checked yesterday the website of the Nursing and Midwifery Council. Actually, we are now number 1. No, India is second in terms of the number of registered professionals with NMC outside the European Economic Area. So it's more than 35,000, and that number is increasing because as we know that every month we have a lot of Filipino nurses coming in the UK to join our National Health Service, and not only National Health Service, but also social care in the community. And we meet them when they come, and we are helping and supporting them integrate in the British society and the British way of life.
Great. So in the clip of my report that we've shown you, yung isang interview ng senior level nurse din na si Edwin de la Cruz, he mentioned na umaangat yung Filipino nurses. You know, you're in the level in your career na umaangat na kayo, unlike, maybe 20 years ago. So my next question would be for May and for Dennis and Ariel. What have you become because of the NHS? So how were you able to reach the highest potential in your career because of the National Health Service? Me?
Shall I go first? Yeah.
Yes, please. Because being the poster girl of the UK, of the NHS for COVID vaccination, that is huge.
It is. Pero I must say I was quite happy to be on the lower bands as a nurse for at least 14 years, and that is because of my kids. I was happy to take my career on the backside because of my children, and I was more worried about them. But obviously, when I was allowed to kind of expand my career and go further, I was able to get where I want. But I would say, it didn't come easily. It has to be something that you want personally to advance and to actually proceed higher, because at the end of the day, it's up to you to want those things. So for me, when I wanted to, have some promotions, I had to actually go for it. It wasn't given to me, and also the competition is quite high. So, there's a lot of things that are going on, not just in the NHS, but also if you're going for interviews and things, you have to actually prepare, because the interview way in the NHS is quite different from what it is in the Philippines. It's not based on what you can do and what you can achieve. It's based on how you perform under stress. So for me, I think I was quite lucky to be able to advance my career in such a short time, from being a band 5 to a matron. But that is because of the experience and obviously the will to actually go for the job. There's a lot of Filipinos out there, I think, that are just quite comfortable for where they are. So that's okay. But if you want to actually go higher, then you have to actually work hard for it and actually prepare and things. So yeah, I think it's up to the individual who, if you really want to progress, it's up to you.
Great.
It's
Thank
there's a lot of opportunities out there.
Okay, Dennis, paano ka
Yeah.
nagkaroon nitong Windrush Award na to, among other things?
Oh gosh, the Windrush Award, that was 2018, Rose. Just to quickly talk about it, my chief executive at that time nominated me for the award. Kasi that was, when I say trust before, that was Sussex Partnership, NHS Foundation Trust. For those who live in the UK, we covered the whole. It's a mental health trust, and we covered the whole of Sussex. So it covers a huge geographical area. And that time kasi po, I mean, in 2008 and 2009, I formed and established a BME staff network sa trust namin, because we have a lot of nurses, not just from the Philippines, who come from out of the UK. And we thought, well, I thought that, it would be really important for us to gather ourselves and offer support to BME staff members. So that's one of the reasons na and I think I also won 2 awards there. That's the main reason why my chief executive nominated me for the award. So, which was really humbling and a proud moment, actually. That was in celebration of 70 years of the NHS. But also, asking your question, earlier question, Rose, I totally agree with May as well. I know with the things that she said. I think success and happiness is relative. I mean, we have to be what we do is dependent on how we see ourselves. I don't think it's not just about reaching or being a chief nurse or a chief executive. I mean, I myself, I mean, I didn't come to this country thinking and hoping one day I would become a chief nurse. That wasn't in my plan at all. I mean, I have been in the UK for 22 years now, and my definition of contentment, happiness, and success is me just being able to do my job every day on a regular basis and coming home and going to sleep without thinking I've hurt someone, I've stepped on someone's toes. And luckily, I've managed to achieve both. And I mean, my goal has always been to remain doing clinical jobs. But also equally as well, if you really want to progress and become chief nurse, that's not impossible at all. I mean, with the recent months as well, because of the pandemic, we now have a regular meetings with other senior nurses in the UK. We have a Filipino Senior Nurses Alliance. We're members of FNA and PNA are also attendees. Ariel also attends the same group, where we offer support to each other for those who really wanted to progress and be, achieve executive roles within their trust. We are there for each other to support each other.
Great. And Ariel?
Thank you. I completely agree with May and Dennis. I've been in the UK for almost 19 years now. I joined OUH in 2002. My career in the UK was a baptism of fire to start with. I really struggled when I came in the UK. I was an OIC chief nurse back in the Philippines, but my first job here in the UK was a nursing assistant, a band 3. I love doing that job, but and the support was phenomenal from my managers and educators and work colleagues. The problem at the time was when I go home in my small accommodation room and close the curtains of my windows and my door. That's where the loneliness kicked in, and I was so depressed at that time. And I told my manager after 2 months, I'm going back to the Philippines. This is not working for me. The manager was very good, and she suggested, Ariel, why not you go out with friends and enjoy life? And of course, at that time, there was no COVID-19, so I followed her advice, and I'm most grateful that I am still here, a very proud Filipino and British citizen. So what I did was I talked to my friends, and this is what I keep telling to my students and staff. please do not suffer in silence. It is all right to say you are not okay, and it is important to ask for help and accept for help. So when I told this story to my 5 friends, they said, "Oh, Ariel, we actually feeling exactly the same." So we started going out, and then, to cut the story short, that was the birth of the Filipino community of Oxfordshire. So we come together, we establish the community, we support each other, and because of that community, I am still here. So since then, I dedicated myself in community service and voluntary service, helping others to maximize their full potentials. So, I'm very proud that I move up the ladder from band 3 to band 5, band 6, band 7, band 8A, band 8B. And with the support of the NHS, I finished my Master's of Science in Nursing Education, my teaching qualification in England, and I'm doing my Doctor of Education. And all of this, I owe it from the National Health Service. And obviously, I am sharing this to our kababayans, because I believe that knowledge is not knowledge unless it is shared, and unless it is translated into best practice, resulting into improved patient care and staff satisfaction. So that is why at the height of COVID-19 last year, we come together as senior nurse leaders and network with other organizations to support and learn from each other.
Great! Ang galing naman. So, dun sa sinabi ninyong tatlo, May, Dennis, and Ariel, in gist you're saying, it can be done. Kung there is an ambition, if you want to succeed in your career with the help of the NHS, it can be done. And May, Dennis, and Ariel, you are the living example that you can do it. The Filipinos can do it, and you can wave the Philippine flag, and now the British flag as well, because of what you have achieved in the NHS. So we will go into the next question. Crystal, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just to say, I agree with Rose. I salute May, Dennis, and Ariel for what they're doing. It's amazing. Okay, next question is about the actual association. For the representative of the Philippine Nurse Association and the Filipino Nurses Association. So, what are your projects and problems that the groups are focusing on right now, and why?
Yeah, can I just add, Crystal, because I've been covering Europe for over a decade, and particularly the UK, and I must say that in the past, isa lang yung Nurses Association. That was the Philippine Nurses Association UK. And then I think there was a lull. And we should take it positively na dalawa na siguro yung organisasyon ng nurses, because of the huge problem that they encountered during the pandemic. And then let's find out kung ano yung mga proyekto na ginagawa ng organisasyon, Philippine Nurses Association UK, FNA UK, to help our kababayan, the Filipino nurses, lalo na siguro yung mga bagong dating na nagsasuffer nung katulad ng pinagdaanan ni Ariel. And we've experienced that. Pag bago ka sa isang bansa, it's hard. You will experience homesickness. You don't know your way around, and paano ka mag-progress in your career. So please go ahead. Let's start with Dennis.
Yes, thank you, Rose. So you are right. Philippine Nurses Association UK, since its inception in 2003, the focus had always been, to help support and provide pastoral care to nurses in the UK. I've became involved with PNA UK during the height of the pandemic, actually during the lockdown, and that was about May last year. And I think, sa mga nagtatanong po, bakit may dalawang nurses association sa UK? Ang tanong ko din naman sa inyo, bakit naman po hindi? As na-mention din ni Ariel kanina, there are so many healthcare workers, hindi lang po nurses, na nasa UK ngayon. And, the more, the better, I guess. If you will be looking at all the objectives and all the activities that the two organizations are doing, we're both offering similar things, pastoral care for newly arrived nurses. Philippine Nurses Association had been meeting a lot of newly arrived nurses almost on a weekly basis, albeit just virtual webinars, just so that we can welcome them and let them feel na if and when they have problems in the UK, which we will eventually experience, na andito po kami to help them support, advise, and guide them. And equally as well, if they have something to celebrate, imbitahin nyo din naman kami. So we have a lot of activities as well, and a lot of connections and liaisons with other nursing associations and nursing diaspora. Meron ding Indian Nurses Association, Malawian, Hong Kong, and other Southeast Asian countries Nurses Association. We help and support each other, and we share each other's activities. Kahit po yung mga activity ng PNA UK, although obviously our core contact and target people would be nurses. Everybody's welcome to attend our activities, most especially in the last few months. The physical health of those people affected by the pandemic had been in a way managed a bit better now. So yung focus has mostly been on mental health and how the lockdown and pandemic had been affecting us. Philippine Nurses Association just recently concluded a 3-part psychological resilience well-being webinars, so we can help and support each other. There's so many things na mauubos yung oras if I will mention every activity that we have. So just pop in and see us and join us, or follow us on our social media accounts.
Yes, go
Over to Ariel and
Facebook.
May.
Exactly, and over to Ariel. That's right.
And thank you. I completely agree with Dennis. It doesn't really matter who provides the help and support. What matters is everyone who needs the support get the support in a timely manner. So this is what we keep saying, that we need to synergize, coming together. There's a lot of strength and power in our differences. So that's what we are doing. As what Dennis said, we just set up the Senior Filipino Nurses Alliance to learn from each other and share best practice. So the Filipino Nurses Association, we have been welcoming our new comers, new Pinoys in the UK. We do the meet and greet, and we also provide them with groceries. And it's very important that they are aware of life in the UK. The other day I received a phone call from a newly arrived Filipino saying that, Ariel, I received a phone call from an immigration officer asking for my passport and my bank account. And when I said, oh, I just arrived last week, I don't have the bank account, and the caller just disconnected the call. So things like that, and that's what pastoral care that Dennis was talking about earlier. So we are also supporting people for their OSCE review, because as we know that it's a final exam for overseas nurses. They need to pass their OSCE to become registered in this country. We also did a couple of our officers, the lead for learning and development, did a survey on the training needs of our members, and we found out that they need interview skills as well as leadership to help them progress with their career. So we have been delivering monthly interview skills workshop and also monthly enhancing leadership workshop. And recently we are delighted that we applied for funding through Florence Nightingale Foundation, and we were granted £12,500 to support our activities for the next 6 months. We also conduct financial education, because we know that in this country it's very easy to apply for credit cards and loan, and if you are not careful, you will end up with so many credit cards. We do a lot of pastoral care, one-on-one, as well as webinars. So there's, I agree with Dennis. If we have to enumerate, we will be here until next week. But we respond to the needs of our kababayans, and also network with Philippine Embassy, with other Filipino organizations and non-Filipino organizations in this country.
Great. So on that note, Dennis and Ariel, I think we have to call on our Filipino nurses who are watching now. You instead po na enumerate ni Dennis and Ariel yung mga activities and projects nila. Maubos yung oras natin. Go to their specific website and their page. So you have Philippine Nurses Association UK webpage or Facebook, and then the Filipino Nurses Association UK. Magkadikit na magkadikit
Ang galing
sounding. But yeah,
Google
at
niyo
this
po
point,
yan.
at this point, kasi maraming naghihintay na fans ni Gaea
I
Mischa
know.
para kumanta siya. So let's hear first yung song that she dedicates to the Filipino frontliners in the UK as well as the NHS. Pakinggan po natin si Mischa. Pero ang pakiusap ko sa inyo, May, Dennis, and Ariel, can you please give us a one-liner answer when we come back? What does NHS mean to you? And magpapaalam po tayo after that, after you answering that. So now we have our The Voice Kids Philippines finalist, Miss Gaea Mischa.
Hello everyone. My name's Gaea. I'm very thankful for being here. I'm going to be singing a classic OPM song. So if you know this, please sing along with me. Panalangin ko sa habang buhay, makapiling ka, makasama ka, yan ang panalangin ko. At hindi papayag ang pusong ito, mawala ka sa aking piling, mahal ko yung linggin. At wala nang iba na mas mahalaga sa tamis na dulot ng pag-ibig natin dalawa. At sana naman makikinig ka kapag aking sasabihin na mahal kita. Panalangin ko sa habang buhay, makapiling ka, makasama ka, yan ang panalangin ko. At hindi papayag ang pusong ito, mawala ka sa aking piling, mahal ko yung dinggin. At wala nang iba na mas mahalaga sa tamis na tulad ng pag-ibig nating dalawa. At sana naman makikinig ka kapag aking sasabihin na mahal kita. Panalangin ko sa habang buhay, makapiling ka, makasama ka, yan ang panalangin ko. At hindi papayag ang pusong ito, mawala ka sa aking piling, mahal ko yung tingin. At wala nang iba na mas mahalaga sa tamis na dulot ng pag-ibig nating dalawa. At sana naman makikinig ka kapag aking sasabihin na mahal kita.
pasensya na sa mga fans niya, no? Medyo naghintay kayo. Pero, hindi po dyan nagtatapos because Gaea will also be joining us later on the second segment. Now, we have a cliffhanger question to our guest bago po sila magpaalam. What does NHS mean to you? May, Dennis, and Ariel. And then we will close the segment after that powerful ending message from you. Go ahead.
For me, NHS is a gem. I think, for in the whole world, we're the only one with the NHS. So I think it's something that is truly remarkable and a gem to be looked after for.
Thank you. Dennis?
Lifeline. Not only to all the residents of the UK or England, but also to all its health and staff and care workers.
Great. Ariel?
The National Health Service transformed my life, my family, my friends, and the community. And I believe that it will continue to transform more lives. And I am very grateful and privileged to be part of the National Health Service. So happy 73rd birthday, NHS. Thank you.
Salamat. Happy birthday, NHS. 73 years old na. On that note, magpapasalamat po tayo sa ating mga guests ngayong hapon for this segment. May Parsons, Dennis Singson, and of course, Ariel Lanada. Maraming salamat. Huwag po ninyong kalilimutan, silipin ang page, website ng FNA UK at ng PNA UK. Maraming salamat yung mga mensahe po ng mga nanonood sa atin. Keep putting them and hopefully our FNA UK and PNA UK and May Parsons will be able to reply to them. Magbabalik po ang Juan Konek.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Nagbabalik po ang One You Connect. Kasama pa rin po namin kayo sa pagdiwang ng 73rd birthday ng National Health Service. And Crystal, are you there?
I'm here. Here.
Okay.
Again, happy birthday, NHS. It affected my life, everyone's life. They're here to stay. So many more years to come, NHS.
Yes. And at this point, makakasama naman po natin ang isa sa ating mga kababayan na magbibigay naman ng kanyang kwento kung paano siya inaalagaan ng NHS. She is currently battling the big C at gusto natin siyang makasama ngayong hapon because napakaganda ng positivity niya na kahit merong mga challenges in her life ay yun nga, may magandang attitude si Midz Mirabueno Dagamac. Good afternoon, Midz. Salamat sa pagsama mo sa amin ngayong hapon. Hi, Midz.
Hello, good afternoon, Ma'am Rose and Attorney Diaz. Thank
Hi,
you for
Midz.
having me here.
See you po again.
Okay. So, Midz, ikwento mo sa amin ang kalagayan ng iyong kalusugan.
Okay, actually at the moment pero medyo normal ako ngayon kasi but not really yung full strength ko na bumalik kasi mababa pang immune system ko. I was diagnosed breast cancer last October 2020 and then yung na-diagnose sa akin is early stage 2 breast cancer. Ang tawag nila doon is invasive ductal carcinoma. Okay? Ngayon, marami akong mga test which is good news kasi 3 yung negative test sa akin. Yung bone ko is negative, yung lymph nodes ko is negative, yung hormone receptor ko is negative. So yun yung good news. And yeah, but at the moment namamanhid pa rin yung mga kamay ko at saka yung paa ko.
Okay. Crystal?
So, ang question ko po sa inyo, 'di ba, sa Philippines mahirap ang paggamot ng treatment kasi it's so expensive for sure. So sa UK naman because of NHS libre. So paano po yung treatment ng ano niyo ngayon ang sa NHS niyo ngayon?
Yeah, tama ka, Attorney Diaz. Medyo mahal nga sa atin pag doon ka magpagamot sa Pilipinas. But here in UK, we are so blessed kasi libre yung mga gamot at may binibigay din yung Macmillan Cancer Research. Binigyan din nila ako ng in one time 350 for my journey, yung in and out ko sa hospital, yung mga fare ko pagpunta doon. And also yung marami rin ako mga scan, mga MRI test, yung mga x-ray ko at talagang nagpapasalamat po ako. Thank you NHS sa tulong nyo. Yung actually, pwede akong mag-share doon sa chemo treatment ko.
Go ahead, Midz. Yes.
Okay, I just finished my 9 rounds, 18 cycles in total last June 14. So I was so lucky kasi sa effect ng chemo kasi marami siyang effect. Meron siyang magkaroon ka ng nauseous at magdaglagan yung buhok mo, which nakita nyo ngayon, naging kalbo ako, yung kilay ko nawala na, yung basta mga buhok ko sa katawan nawala na. And then yung blood, yung taste buds mo, and yung bumababa talaga yung immune system mo. Minsan yung red and blood cells mo bumababa. May one time po nagkaroon ako ng transfusion, blood transfusion, kasi talagang bumaba yung ano ko. As in, hindi ako pwede bibigyan ng chemo that time. Talagang as in, mababa. So, they give me 2 bags of blood transfusion that time. At tumaas din yung ano ko, yung temperature ko naging 38.9. So, ang ginawa ko, pumunta agad ako ng emergency room at nagpapasalamat po ako doon sa mga NHS, lalo na may I'm so lucky kasi may 2 Filipino nurse doon at talagang nakita nila na talagang as in wala na akong ano kasi 39 ano na yon, talagang delikado na yun sa akin. So tinakbo agad ako doon sa emergency room, kinuna agad ako ng mga blood tests and everything. So I stayed there for 5 days. Talagang nakamonitor ako. At nagpapasalamat talaga ako sa NHS, mga nurses doon, Filipino man or ibang lahi, dahil talagang ano ako, yung grateful ako sa kanila sa binigay nilang ano sa akin, yung services. So from there, isang beses lang naman ako na ano ng transfusion, blood transfusion, but in general okay po yung ano sa akin ng chemo dahil never once po ako nagsusuka. Yun lang po ang ano ko. And food-wise, talagang nag-ano rin ako, kumakain ako kahit walang taste yung ano ko, parang metal taste talaga yung mga food. Pero I have to take foods at pinapalo ko yung mga green leafy, yung mga juices na iniinom ko, avoid meats, avoid oily food. Yun. Mga prutas, mga berries, and that's it. But I'm happy right now.
Great! Magandang balita yan, Midz. Ano? So, nabanggit mo kanina, paano ba mag-alaga ang NHS? Kasi Crystal also pointed it out na kung sa Pilipinas, siguro maliban sa pag-iisip mo kung paano ka gagaling, yung mga pamilya at yung may sakit, mag-iisip pa kung saan kukuha ng pera dahil alam nyo naman, bawat galaw at pagpapagamot kung sa bansa ka katulad ng Philippines or in the US, talagang maglalabas ka ng pera. So, paano mo i-describe yung mga nag-aalaga sa'yo sa NHS?
Okay, first thing, yung talagang ano sila, pag una ka nilang nakita, tinatanong mo na ano yung sakit mo, yung ganon. So, very ano sila, yung very friendly, soft-spoken, and then kung ano po yung mga inquiries mo, yung mga doubts mo about sa sakit mo, talagang nag-a-advise sila na itong gawin mo, tita, itong kakainin mo, at kung may mga effects yung chemo mo, itong gagawin mo para ma-avoid yung mga ano talaga sa katawan mo. Kasi malakas ang treatment ng chemo talaga. It's really hard, pero tolerable naman siya. Depende sa iyo yan paano mo dalhin yung gamot sa katawan mo. They're very friendly, very helpful, very
Okay.
compassionate. Yes.
Crystal?
I'm glad to hear, Midz, that you know, you are being looked after by NHS. Because you know, I also have the same experience with a family member. You know, they give you your options kung meron kung surgery or chemo or radiotherapy. Midz is just going through chemo at the moment, right? But you're also receiving pastoral care, as you said. But what keeps you going, Midz, for now?
What keeps me going?
Apart from the treatment, what makes you, you know, what do you do out when you're not going through your treatment?
Oo, ano nagpapalakas ng loob mo? Ano nagpapatatag sa'yo? Maliban sa libreng gamot.
Okay. Ang talagang
Walang
nagpapalakas sa
stress
akin
yan,
is,
kasi money is always a stressful thing. Why? If you don't have the money, you don't get the treatment. But thank God for NHS, we know we don't have to worry about that too much.
okay, so yung isa talagang nagpapalakas sa akin is yung family ko. Sabi ko, lagi kong sinasabi sa sarili ko, kaya ko to, labanan ko ito. Lalo na yung meron akong apo, 2 apo, very gorgeous apo. And also, I always keep in my mind na I can do these things. Lagi kong sinasabi talaga na kung kaya nila, kaya ko rin. Okay? So I always believe in my heart that there is hope and everything will be all right as well. And no one can help you except yourself. And I always say to myself that I have to dance with the music and go with the flow and never lose faith. Keep praying, surrender everything to God, and make sure that you have always these positive thoughts in your mind constantly. Just surrender to Him.
Fantastic. Great. Well said, Midz. Alam mo, Midz, inspiration ka sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na nakakakita ng mga post mo sa social media kasi sino ba naman yung nagkikimo na nagti-TikTok pa, hindi ba? Kaya,
ang galing niya sa TikTok, you know, I always watch her on Facebook. And ang galing niya magsaya. By the way, viewers, Midz is a very, very good dancer.
yes, kaya ito yung mga pagbati sa iyo from Maribel Pascua Favor. Midz, you are so brave to tell your cancer story. You are in our prayers. Kanina may comment din dito si Tita Adele Dueñas na mag-iingat ka and well done sa'yo. And then also si Dennis na kasama natin kanina. Continue fighting, Midz. It was lovely to meet you. Sending you light, love, healing, and recovery. O ayan, may connection na tayo sa mga taga-NHS para mas lalo kang maalagaan. And also si Maribel is from the NHS. So lahat po nang nanonood sa atin na from working at the National Health Service, mabuhay po kayo. Happy birthday sa institusyon na kumakalinga sa mga Pinoy at nagpa-advance ng career ng ating mga kababayang Pinoy. This is a well-loved institution with an award pa nga, di ba? From the Queen. So, ngayon naman, Midz, salamat sa pagkwento mo sa amin. Isang kanta pa ang maririnig natin mula kay Gaea. Kakantahan ka niya, Midz, because of your inspiring story. So, here's Gaea.
Hello, I'm back. So for my second song, I'd like to dedicate this to all our Filipino frontliners in the Philippines, UK, and around the world. Thank you so much for all your love and your care for all of us. Thank you so much.
Kung ito man ang huli, awiting, nais kong malaman mo, ika'y bahagi na ng buhay ko. At kung may huling sasabihin, nais kong sambitin, nilagyan mo ng kulay ang mundo. Kasama kita ikaw ay mahalaga sa akin. Ang awitin ko'y iyong dinggin. At kung marinig na pangalangin, lagi kang naroroon, humihiling ang pagkakataon. Masabi ko sa'yo ng harapan, kung gaano kita kailangan. Ang awiting ito'y para sa'yo, at kung maubos ang tinig, di magsisisi, dahil iyong narinig mula sa labi ko. Salamat, salamat, ito na ang pagkakataon. Walang masayang panahon, mananatili ka sa puso ko kailanman. Para sa'yo ako'y lalaban, ako'y lalaban. Ang awiting ito'y para sa'yo, at kung maubos ang tinig, di magsisisi, dahil iyong narinig mula sa labi ko. Salamat, mula sa labi ko. Salamat. Thank you.
Bayeng Constantino.
Nice,
And of
nice.
course, interpreted by Gaea. So, Gaea, can you please tell us, anong pinagkakaabalahan mo ngayon?
So, can I go back to the Voice Kids? After the Voice Kids, I got a chance to be in a Christmas concert with my coach, Miss Leia Salonga. And in the pandemic, that was before the pandemic. In the pandemic, I've got a lot of corporate events from different companies, and of course, online events from the Philippines and UK. Well, a week ago, I recently had my concert, my first ever charity concert, virtual charity concert. This was for the benefit of Saint Rita Orphanage. So I'd like to thank everyone who were there joining me, and to everyone who donated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your blessings to Saint Rita Orphanage.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Gaea. Maraming salamat. Beautiful yung awitin mo sa ating mga kababayang frontliner. Yun naman pong nakita ninyong sketch, yun ang mga kababayan natin na namatay dahil po sa COVID-19. So, gusto rin natin magpasalamat sa managers sa UK, ni Gaea. Siya si tinutuluyan na mag-promote ng kanyang singing career. Good luck sa iyo, at saka we are proud of you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to honor our Filipino frontliners here in the UK. Mabuhay ka, Gaea.
Much.
Salamat po.
Yes, yes.
Midz, final words, Midz. Sino yung mga gusto mong pasalamatan? Kasi may football match ngayon. So, ayaw natin na mag-overtime tayo kasi maghahanda pa tayo ng mga pang-barbecue natin later. Go ahead, Midz.
Okay, una sa lahat, gusto ko magpasalamat sa Panginoon. Siya talaga ang first priority ko. And then yung family ko, yung mga taong laging nagpe-pray sa akin na maging magaling ako. At sa lahat po nagmamahal sa akin, pamilya ko sa Pilipinas, yung mga friends ko dito, mga pamilya ko na nandito. Thank you sa lahat and thank you NHS sa tulong nyo and happy 73rd birthday. Thank you, Lord.
Salamat. We'll see you, Midz. Sana ay magpagaling ka, lakasan mo yung loob mo. Gaea, maraming salamat sa iyo. Hopefully, Gaea, we will have you here in the UK for a face-to-face concert naman. Hindi na online, ano?
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, okay. Marami pong salamat. Gusto lang nating batiin, Crystal, bago tayo magpaalam this afternoon, yung mga nanonood sa atin. Mula po sa NHS, yung mga nurses natin, my kuya is watching. Yung mami ko kanina, bago mag 1 o'clock, tumawag na siya, kala niya kasi sa Pilipinas, 7 o'clock. So, my mom is watching. Nanonood yung mga kaibigan natin ngayon. Maraming excited sa match ng England versus Italy.
England.
At saka yung mga... Yes, 8 o'clock. Ang dami mong fans, Gaea. Ayaw pa nilang
Yes.
Ayaw pa nilang umalis.
Hello,
Crystal, go ahead.
Yeah, just to say, mga viewers from Love Ramirez, Joaquin Phoenix, Caitlin Ann Santos, Jezebel Soto, quite a few here. My mom is watching. I saw also Miss Nelly Fami earlier. We have Queens Athena. Who else? It keeps moving. Sorry about that. So Nida Makapinlak. We have that. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for my brother Rose Eclarinal watching. Idol niya si Dennis Singson. Nagbigay daw ito sa kanila ng talk in the Philippines about mental health. So magaling daw si Dennis. O ayan, binasa ko yung private message niya sa akin. Yun lang po. Lahat po ng nandito pa ngayon na nanonood, please share this episode para po marami pang mga kababayan natin all over the world ang makapanood nito. Please share para rin mapakinggan nila ang kwento ng ating mga kababayang frontliner, Filipino nurses, Filipino Association at ang paglaban sa cancer, Big C ni Midz na libre dahil sa NHS. Nandito tayo. Maraming salamat po. England versus Italy tonight. Abangan natin.
Is it fish and chips or spaghetti? I don't know. Fish and chips for me.
Okay. Thank you sa lahat po na nanood ng One You Connect. Magbabalik po ang aming live streaming sa July 25. Huwag po ninyong kalilimutan, tune in. Maganda po yung topic natin. Abangan po ninyo, nandito po sa page ng One You Connect. Ito po ang Kwentong Pinoy, Kwentong Migrante, Kwentong One You Connect. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
At ako po si Crystal Dias.
Hanggang sa muli sa One You Connect.
You Connect. Bye.
Saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan, konting tiis na lang at hanggang